The most expensive landscaping mistake may not be the plant that dies. It may be the tree that lifts a sidewalk, the vine that works behind the siding, or the attractive plant that spreads far beyond where you intended to keep it. And the final mistake can quietly send water toward your house every time it rains. In this video, I'm going to help you avoid these potentially very expensive mistakes. Many of them might surprise you. Let's get into it. 1. Planting large trees where their roots have no room. A young tree beside a driveway can look harmless. It has a thin trunk, a small canopy, and a root ball you can carry across the yard. But you are not designing around the tree you bring home. You're designing around the mature tree and the underground space it will eventually need. Most tree roots grow relatively close to the surface and spread well beyond the trunk. When a large growing tree is planted in a narrow strip surrounded by pavement, those roots still need somewhere to go. As roots expand beneath poorly supported pavement, sidewalks and driveway edges may lift, crack, or become uneven. Then the homeowner faces a difficult choice. Cutting major roots can damage or destabilize the tree. Removing the tree means losing years of growth, paying for removal, and possibly repairing the pavement anyway. This does not mean trees should never be planted near hardscape. It means the mature size of the tree, the available soil volume, and the planting space need to agree. Use smaller growing trees in confined spaces. Give large trees enough open ground to develop properly. The mistake is assuming the empty space beside the driveway will remain empty underground. If you're new here, I'm Nick. I studied horticulture and landscape design, and on Garden Guru, I help homeowners make practical yard decisions that continue working as the landscape matures, like avoiding mistake number 2, letting the wrong vine use your house as a trellis. A wall covered in vines can be beautiful. It can soften a blank facade and give a newer home instant character. But vines do not all climb the same way. Some twine around a support. Some use tendrils. Others attach directly to surfaces with adhesive pads, aerial roots, or holdfasts. That difference matters. A twining vine, trained on a freestanding trellis, can be kept away from the wall. A self-clinging vine growing directly over vulnerable siding, trim, shutters, vents, or gutters is a different situation. Dense growth can work into existing gaps, conceal deterioration, trap debris, and make inspection or repainting far more difficult. The mature weight matters too. A small decorative trellis may support a young plant, but buckle beneath a large wisteria, grape, or other vigorous vine years later. Before planting a climber, ask, how does it attach? How large and heavy will it become? And what happens when the wall, fence, or roof line needs maintenance? Often the solution is not giving up the vine. It is giving it a strong, dedicated structure positioned away from vulnerable surfaces. 3. Ignoring mature size around the house. A shrub can be healthy and attractive while still becoming an expensive problem. A small evergreen gets planted near an air conditioning unit to hide it. A flowering shrub goes beneath a window. A hedge is installed beside a gate or utility meter. At planting time, everything fits, but placing an 8-foot wide plant in a 3-foot opening does not turn it into a 3-foot plant. It creates years of corrective pruning. Eventually, growth may block airflow around equipment, hide exterior damage, narrow gates and walkways, cover windows, or make utilities difficult to reach. Even when the plant does not physically damage anything, it can make future repairs slower and more expensive. Before planting around the house, identify everything that must remain accessible: meters, vents, faucets, downspouts, mechanical equipment, gates, windows, and exterior walls. Then leave room for both the mature plant and a person who may need to work there. This is one of the issues I cover in the Fix My Yard workbook. It helps you diagnose what is holding your yard back and map out concrete steps before spending more money. Dozens of my viewers are already using it to fix their yard. You'll find it linked below. Okay, now to mistake number 4. Planting aggressive roots near vulnerable pipes and drains. You have probably heard that tree roots break into sewer pipes. The reality is more specific. Roots do not usually puncture a perfectly intact modern pipe, but older clay pipes, cracked drain lines, loose joints, and perforated drainage systems may already contain openings. Once roots reach one of those openings, the moisture inside supports continued growth. A small entry point can become a mass of roots that restricts flow, traps debris, and contributes to repeated blockages. The difficult part is that homeowners may not know where these lines are. A sewer lateral may cross the front yard. A French drain may run beside the house. A perforated pipe may pass directly through the area selected for a moisture-seeking tree. Before planting a large tree or vigorous woody plant, identify what is underground, especially around older homes, septic systems, aging sewer connections, and drainage infrastructure. There is no single planting distance that works for every species and every pipe. You need to understand the mature root system, the condition of the line, where the line runs, and whether a smaller plant can perform the same landscape job. What happens below ground deserves as much attention as what the tree will look like above it. Number 5. Assuming a plant is safe because it is being sold. This may be the most surprising mistake on the list. A plant can be available at a garden center and still be considered invasive in your region. Restrictions vary by state. A species may be prohibited in one place, discouraged in another, and still sold somewhere else. Some invasive ornamentals remain popular because the traits that make them appealing also help them escape. They grow quickly, tolerate difficult conditions, spread easily, and require very little help once established. Unfortunately, they do not recognize property lines. They may seed into neighboring yards, spread through runners or underground stems, invade natural areas, or return repeatedly after removal. The expensive part often comes later. Removal may require years of cutting, digging, monitoring, or targeted control. Roots can become intertwined with plants you want to keep, and seeds may continue germinating after the parent plant is gone. Before buying an unfamiliar species, search the plant name along with your state, invasive, your University Extension Service, or your State Invasive Species Council. The answer needs to be regional. A plant that behaves acceptably in one climate may become highly aggressive in another. The cheapest time to avoid an invasive plant is before it enters the yard. 6. Choosing a tree without considering how it might fail. Most homeowners imagine what a tree will look like when it succeeds. They picture shade over the patio, blossoms outside a window, or a canopy filling the front yard. But large trees should also be evaluated by what is beneath them if a branch, or the entire tree, fails. Some species have weaker wood. Some are prone to narrow branch unions or heavy limbs. Any tree can become hazardous when roots are damaged, soil is compacted, decay is ignored, or years of poor pruning create weak structure. The important question is, what will this tree be hanging over when it matures? A tree in the far corner of a large property creates a different level of risk than the same tree over a roof, a driveway, a play area, parked vehicles, power lines, or a heavily used patio. Shallow roots do not automatically mean a tree will topple, but restricted soil, saturated ground, root cutting, decay, and wind exposure can combine to increase risk. Consider mature canopy spread, branch structure, root space, and the potential failure zone before planting. And train young trees while problems are small. Correcting weak structure early is far less expensive than removing a dangerous limb later. Large trees can be among the most valuable features on a property. They simply need to be treated as long-term structures, not oversized shrubs. Do you want an opportunity for me to work through design challenges like improving curb appeal or avoiding costly mistakes on your property? That is exactly what I do with channel members selected for Yard Lab, where I redesign a real viewer's yard around their goals, budget, and site conditions. Click the Join button below to view membership details. Now on to our final damaging mistake. 7. Allowing the landscape to send water toward the house. This final mistake may not change how the yard looks at all. The beds can be freshly mulched, the shrubs can be perfectly spaced, the lawn can look healthy, and every storm may still be sending water toward the foundation. Start with the grade. The ground around the house should direct surface water away from the structure, but landscapes change over time. Beds get raised with additional soil. Mulch is added year after year. Walkways settle. Patios slope incorrectly. Low areas develop beside the house. Now water moves inward instead of away. Downspouts are another common problem. A roof can collect a tremendous amount of water during a storm and concentrate it into only a few discharge points. If a downspout empties directly into a small foundation bed, the mulch may hide how much water is entering that area. Irrigation can create the same problem when sprinklers repeatedly wet siding, windows, vents, or soil immediately beside the house. And mulch is not automatically dangerous because it touches concrete. The concern is when soil or mulch is piled high enough to cover the visible foundation, reach vulnerable siding or trim, interfere with drainage, or hide an area you should be able to inspect. After a heavy rain, walk around the house and watch the water. Where does each downspout empty? Does runoff move away from the foundation? Does it pool beside the wall? Are the driveway or patio directing water into a bed? Has added mulch or soil changed the slope? Water problems may begin in the landscape, but they can end as drainage work, wet crawl spaces, damaged finishes, or basement repairs. The cheapest time to redirect water is before it finds a path inside. So, to recap, the most damaging landscape choices are rarely made because someone does not care. They happen because a young plant makes it easy to forget what the mature plant will eventually become. Give roots enough room. Keep vigorous growth away from vulnerable structures. Protect access around the house. Know what lies underground. Check regional invasive lists. Place trees with their mature structure in mind. And make sure the landscape sends water away from your home. A plant should improve the property as it grows, not leave you with an expensive reason to remove it. Well, there you have it. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep getting your hands dirty. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Garden Guru, and consider becoming a channel member to have the opportunity for me to redesign your yard. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.